Hey, we're going to be fixing a air conditioning leak on my 2002 Xterra. This is very common, I have found out. Nissan Frontier and the Xterra with a 3.3 engine. You get this high pressure hose AC line on this side here. See all that green? That is this stuff right here. Yeah, it's leaking out. And I bought me a brand new hose that we're going to replace it with here. The system's already discharged. It's leaked out over the last couple of days, but the air conditioner worked when it worked, but over time it just kept getting warmer and warmer. Then the compressor just wouldn't work anymore because it didn't have enough pressure on it. But anyway, here is what we're going to be replacing it with. Check this baby out. $34 brand new. Apparently they had a lot of problems back in 2002 with making these hoses. And the dealer I bought this off of on eBay, he has sold 230 of these, so this is a very common part that goes bad. And also, if you look down here on the, you can see right there, there's a little bit of pooling there. There's a bunch of that refrigerant there. It's got that dye in it. It's like a leak detector you can find leaks with on top of the steering rack there. So whatever you want to call that there, one of those days anyway. But I did actually adjust that nut down there and got my steering a little bit tighter, and I got all the play on the steering wheel, so it was good there. So what we're going to do, also it's even leaking up here. Wow, look at that, there's green there. So in order to change this, I pulled the air cleaner out of the way. It's kind of sitting over there, unhooked a few things, and we just have this 13mm bolt here we got to take off. And we got one right here. Now this one here kind of scared me. Got a socket on it and it would not hardly turn at all, so I just worked it back and forth, and eventually it did come loose. They get so much corrosion on them, it really makes it hard to get them off. White flaky stuff, you know what I'm talking about. So what we're going to do, and by the way, if you're doing this, my setup is I'm just going to use one of these reusable hose and gauges for the self-sealing one, the R34A can. If you want to take this to an air conditioning place and spend $400, $500, $600, knock yourself out. But I find a lot of time, just by putting some of this in there and getting it within the green area, it works pretty good. You'll have air conditioning. But if you put this in and you notice the compressor is still running, and it just doesn't seem like it's getting cold, then there could be a problem with the compressor. I've had a lot of these on Ford. I think it was a Ford Fusion that I pulled my hair out and finally figured it out that the compressor itself wasn't even working, although it was kicking on. The parts inside, I think it had some kind of flappers and a little pump in there. I tore it apart, but it wasn't pumping any Freon refrigerant whatsoever. Although the compressor was kicking on, which was kind of weird, but the lines are all hot and everything. But it's kind of complicated. But just verify that your compressor is okay before you do all this, because you don't want to have to put this refrigerant in it and eventually have to worry about taking it out. Although this stuff is a lot more friendlier to the environment than the old stuff is. All right, so what we got to do here, and it should be a pretty simple task here once I get situated here. It is so humid out here today. Try not to get any water or sweat on the camera here. This is on my little cell phone. Let's see, so this one came out pretty good, which I'm really happy about that. But the one that scared me, like I said, was the one on the bottom here. And of course, now it's not going to come out. You can see all the dye. And we got one here. I'm going to put my extension right about there and see if we can finish getting that out. Nope, I'm going to have to get my ratchet. Alright, so we got the ratchet on here. See if we can get this off. Boy, there's just not a lot of room here with this support, hood support. I'll tell you what, this one's in there. This bolt is just difficult, but it's coming slowly. I just know there's all this corrosion on it. Alright, I'm going to set the camera down and do this with both hands. Alright, so I think we just about got it. Alright, oh, see all that white? You didn't see that, but look at all that white stuff that's falling out of there. All that corrosion. Look at that. This is the problem we get into when we put steel bolts into aluminum or metal bolts, whatever. So we'll put this over here, flaky stuff. And now we should be able to just pull this off. Now what I did to get this bolt out from snapping it, I got it out a little bit and I squirted some oil in there. I turned it back in a little bit, put some more oil on. I just kind of went back and forth until it got real easy. Because if you snap this bolt off, you got to replace this whole condenser up here. And this is where the, let's see, yeah, right about here, the dryer. There's a wire on the dryer. This is, I think, the dryer you can change independently. So I may change it later, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. If it works okay, then hey, it's fine for me for now until I sell it. But usually I don't have a problem with the dryers. But anyway, if you do snap this off, be aware that you'll have to replace this whole front condenser. So my advice is, before you go taking this bolt off, go ahead and see if you can get this one out first. Because if you can't, if you snap this one off and you can't put it back in, then this system's going to be open and you could get a lot of moisture in it. So but do what you like. And of course, we got to wiggle this. Oh, all right, there we go. All right, so threads look okay. I'm not that excited about how I had to get it off, but I don't know how I get this out of here. I got a ground here that's in the wrong place. It shouldn't be. It should actually be above. It should be down here like that. Anyway, wow, look at this thing had a massive leak. Wow. Holy moly. It wasn't leaking up here because this part has been dry. So the leak has been down here. And this is the high side, pressure side. So, alright, but anyway, it's out. And the seal looks okay. So on mine, here I have new seals and all that. So what we got to do is go ahead and connect this up real quick. Let me squirt just a little bit of oil up in here. Not inside the line itself, but in the bolt hole. So it makes it a little bit easier to work with later. Try not to get it in here. There we go. Just enough to help it out a little bit, because I don't want that bolt to get stripped off in here. And let's see, let me grab another socket here. I think I do. Oops, starting to rain. Hang on. Alright, so I got that there started. Of course, it's starting to rain, and this camera does not like rain. That's in there, and now we'll go ahead and put this one on the top here. And get that started a little bit better. The nice thing is, it's got, this one here's got a guide pin. This one does not have the guide pin. Did the old one have a guide pin? Out of curiosity. Nope. Well, that one there did, but nope. The bottom one did not have a guide pin, so I don't know. Sometimes I just like to notice these things. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this back on here so we don't get any moisture in there. All right, that's on. So that's there on, is on. And on this Nissan, that is on now. One other important thing here, do not get these bolts mixed up. This shorter one goes on the front that I had problems getting off. Here's a longer one, and you can see the difference here. There are two different sizes, so don't mess these up. There's our little caps off the old line. All right, get this in here before it starts raining too much. All right, so I have to start this with a socket. All right, I know, kind of a boring video, but hey, you know, if I figure if I can help somebody out, then they've made my day. So, all right, play around until I get started to straight. All right, so there's that one. I might have to get to the bolt started here for the top one here. And looks like our O-ring is down in there. Okay, we're good there. And we're good there. I think I'm going to put just a little bit of oil on this. This is just used oil. makes a difference. I don't know where my PB blaster is. I lost it. I think I used it all up. Anyway. Alright, so that's on. So all we got to do now is go ahead and tighten these up. And I'm going to use both hands. Make sure I don't cross thread these. And we'll finish this up and put some gas in it. Freon, or whatever you want to call it these days. R12. And see if our air conditioner is working good again. And verify that we don't have no more leaks. Alright, so we got that bolt snug and tight. Same thing with that one there. Looks good. And now we can go ahead and put our air cleaner back on and shoot some R12 in it and see if it's going to be okay. So it wasn't too bad to do. So, hey, if you like this video, let me know where you're watching from and give me a thumbs up. So there we go. So let's go ahead and button this thing up and go ahead and put some gas in it and see what we have. Alright, so we got everything buttoned back up. I got my connector there connected, and I went ahead and hooked this up like this because I can't do this with both with the camera in one hand. But that's hooked up. That's on the low pressure side. So all we got to do is go ahead and start this up and turn the AC on and come back out and pull the trigger and see if we can get some gas going through the system here. Like I said, other than that, it's a good running vehicle. I'm still having some problems with fuel injectors. I'm trying to get some really good ones to put in this that'll run really smooth. Sometimes I'll get a PO300 and the light will go off and I can feel it kind of missing, but that's another story. But it's not that big of a deal. But other than that, it runs pretty good. So, all right, AC. All right, so we'll go out and pull the trigger on it and see how long it takes that compressor to kick on. And as you can see, the compressor's not on, so here we go. There we go, we're taking gas. Compressor kicked on. Kicked on pretty good. Pretty fast. The can's getting nice and cold, so it's taking it, which is great. Compressor's still running. It's getting cold, so maybe let's play around with this a little bit until I get it all in here. It's getting cold, and you can see the gauges come up a little bit. It may take 1.5 cans. This is a 12-ounce can. Or 20. Yep, feeling pretty good. Alright, so I've used 1 can, and I've used just a couple of squirts of this can, really. These are 12-ounce cans, so about, I don't know if I had to guess, maybe 16 ounces. But you can see where the gauge is, right where it should be, and it's good and cold. Look at all the water moisture. I don't see any leaks. We'll shut it off here in a minute and listen, but compressor's still running. Now I noticed on this Nissan, this compressor, they seem like they run all the time. I thought they should kick off on and off a little bit. It has in the past, but maybe I just didn't notice it. Let's go inside, and I don't have a thermometer, but I can tell. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, I wish you could feel that right now. Oh, it feels good. So that took care of that. And when I turn this AC off, back in the old days here, if I hit it again, the compressor would not kick back on. And I heard it kick on, so it's working. So part of the problem could have been that hose out there, but oh, it feels so good in here. So that's about all I'm going to put in it. This hose was the problem, I guess, most of the whole time. So great. So for $30-some and a couple of cans of this, I think I picked this up for $6 a can. Put just a little more in it, right about 35 or so. And oh, look at that water! All that moisture. I love it. Love it when a plan comes together. So that's how you replace that hose. Now, like I said, you can take this to a air conditioning specialist and spend $200 or $300 or whatever, but you might want to try this first if you're a penny pincher. There's no harm in it. The worst that'll happen is you'll waste a can of refrigerant. This is AC Pro air conditioning that I'm using. So, and everything there looks good. The dryer looks okay. No leaks there. So I think we're going to be okay. We're going to be good to go. So let's shut it off here real quick. All right, we got to shut off. Here comes the rain again. And we'll disconnect this. See, all this stuff has dye detector in it, which is nice. Remember the old days, you had to get a light, fluorescent light, and do magic? Make sure we put our cap back on. And we'll look and see tonight after I drive it a little bit. I don't see hear any leak, any hissing. Pretty simple fix. I think we're going to be okay. So I'll put an update in the description in the comment section and let you guys know how it's working out. But like I said, kind of a boring video, but I know somebody's probably got a problem with their air conditioning. But check that high pressure hose. They do have a lot of problems. Okay guys, so that's it. The rain is falling. Until my next video, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.